Let me start by saying I fell in love with Rockefeller Center when I was a small boy and was skating there. And I went week in, week out to Radio City to see the show and the movie, and to my favorite place of all, which was on top, where the view was much better than it was at the Empire State Building. That said, I don't think Rockefeller Center is exceptional. In 1972, when I was at the City Planning Department, I made this map of available large-scale development sites in New York City. We have lots of them. Many of them, you will notice, have actually turned out to be built. Nor is Rockefeller Center, as several of the panelists said, something new. In fact, Grand Central Terminal is far larger, involves far more public realm, on many more blocks, and on many more levels. Not only did it involve covering up a huge territory, but look at the number of blocks and the pedestrian and vehicular and mass transit systems that intersect there, all of which set the stage for the rebuilding of a huge large-scale development. Now, we've been building large-scale developments ever since. More recently, there's the World Trade Center. But the World Trade Center did something very significantly different. It doesn't connect with the city without a bridge. There is 16.5 acres of land that was set aside from the rest of the city. So much so that in the wintertime, the plaza, which was 5.5 acres, had to be cordoned off because the icicles fell from it and people might get hurt. As you know, West Street is a barrier between what was then the World Trade Center and everything else. Well, in opposition to that, a whole series of large-scale developments began to be done, and I thought I'd show you a couple of them because they tried to reestablish the public realm that Rockefeller Center had so elegantly created in the first place. This is the way you usually see Battery Park City. A plan or a distant view. When you go up close, you will see the promenade, the streets, the sidewalks, and in fact, there's a map which you can find, and what does the map show? Not the buildings, but the public realm. And it isn't alone in that. The more recent Riverside South, which is not as elegant, nor as beautiful, nor does it have as ambitious a public realm, nevertheless, has a public realm, public parks, sidewalks, and that brings me to the project that I had something to do with for about 15 months and haven't been involved with for 5 years, and that's the second version of the World Trade Center. If you look at what had been there to begin with, there were streets and sidewalks. When the World Trade Center went in before it was destroyed, they were eliminated. And other than what has been taken for the memorial, the plan that was ultimately done by Daniel Libeskind puts back the streets. And prior even to the competition which Studio Libeskind won, we managed to get Greenwich Street to go through and 7 World Trade Center to be part of a street system. Unfortunately, everything other than the privately owned parcels which are being built by Larry Silverstein pursuant to the plan, there are no streets and there are no sidewalks, and the public realm, we'll see what happens when it finally emerges. The large-scale development projects that we are doing now have gone back to the world of the World Trade Center. They do not have the kind of public realm that Rockefeller Center did. If you go to the Hudson Yards, there are no streets. It's a huge super block with grandiose public spaces, which are more decorative in terms of their relationship to the tall buildings. And perhaps the worst of them is the Atlantic Yards. 3 big super blocks, no public realm whatsoever, no room for pedestrians. It should surprise you not at all that people object to it. I didn't see such signs at the Channel Gardens when I was there the last time. Thank you very much.